And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy. Bruce Wolf sitting in with Amy this week on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Tasty Catering, a Chicago holiday party tradition. For delicious holiday catering, visit tastycatering.com.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Yeah.
Welcome
Nirvana.
back. Nirvana. Nothing says good Monday morning like Nirvana. Hit you right between the eye.
Right.
Amy Jacobson here. Bruce Wolf in for Dan Propp this entire week. But don't worry, folks. He'll be back also the week before Christmas when we sing our annual song.
Which we're going to sing this song.
What are we going to sing?
Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Sing Nirvana?
Yeah.
Do you know the lyrics?
You don't have to know the lyrics.
In the darkness!
Yeah,
Impeachment Theatre. Yes, the impeachment is back. Do you want to run down what's going to happen, Bruce?
Oh, it's just
The
a bunch
House
of
gets back to work
procedural
tomorrow,
stuff. Yeah.
And then the impeachment inquiry is then going to move from the House Judiciary Committee. Wait, hold on. The Intelligence Committee. Well, no. Yeah.
Right.
The panel has a Wednesday hearing on the constitutional grounds for presidential impeachment, and the White House has until Friday to decide whether President Trump's attorneys will participate in the process. But at this point in time, they have declined.
This is even duller than the substantive
claiming that
testimony.
the Democrats planned this while President Trump's out of town in NATO, or in London, for the celebration of the 70th anniversary of NATO.
Sure.
Here's Amy Klobuchar, why we need to press on.
Let me talk about how I see this. Yes, this is a legal impeachment proceeding, and it could result in him being thrown out of office. That is true. But I see this as part of a bigger pattern, and the pattern is this. He betrays the trust of the American people. He puts his private interests, he puts his business interests, he puts his partisan political interests in front of our country's. That's what people get.
And Congressman McClintock wants to hear from Trump.
I think it would be to the president's advantage to have his attorneys there. That is his right. And in fact, again, I think it would be to the president's advantage to have him testify now. But of course, he has to weigh that against the enormous catastrophic damage that would do to the doctrine of executive privilege.
But has this been a fair process so far? Doug Collins, Congressman.
They don't think this is fair, and I've talked to Democrats who do not believe this is fair. If the Judiciary Committee simply has a constitutional scholar hearing and then they have a presentation of a report by Adam Schiff and we go straight to a markup, that is a failure on Chairman Nadler of the ultimate proportion, because this is a failure of the Judiciary Committee to be able to talk to fact witnesses, to be able to talk to the people that have actually been a part of this, and actually have the president viably participate in his own defense, which he's not had the opportunity to do now. To simply go ahead.
Okay. You're pretty wound up, I got to say. You obviously had some turkey this Thanksgiving.
And a little bit of cranberries as well.
Okay. Well, me too.
That was Chris Wallace, son of Mike Wallace.
He was.
Yes.
With more on this topic, let's welcome back to the program Julie Kelly, senior contributor for American Greatness. Good morning, Miss Kelly. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Wow, no one talks faster than Doug Collins.
He's all wound up.
I thought it was Doug Collins, the basketball analyst.
No, the different Doug Collins.
Well, because I'm an attorney by day. I don't pay that much attention. I have people like Julie pay attention to this for me.
Yes, so the curtain closes on the Schiff show. That's the article you wrote, amgreatness.com. What's Adam Schiff going to do now that he's not going to have all the media attention?
Oh, I don't know. He'll figure out something because he's a master. You know, he wanted to be a playwright. He lives outside of L.A.
I didn't know that.
He's friends with all the beautiful people. So his dream in life was to be a screenwriter. That didn't materialize. So now he's manufactured the throwing Trump out of office screenplay for the past 3 years. And his theater, unfortunately, his curtain has closed.
Yes.
He's in the back now sobbing over his laptop trying to figure out his next drama. So he'll come up with something. He's very
he could be
creative.
called on to testify in the Senate trial, which would be kind of fun.
Well, he should be.
Yeah. But Julie, let me ask you this. I got to play devil's advocate because, like I said, I'm an attorney. So I'm just paid, to take the other side. So the phone conversation of July 25th with Zelensky, the perfect phone call, He doesn't mention Trump, that is, doesn't mention Ukraine. He never mentions Burisma. He just mentions Biden and his son Hunter. And so there's your quid pro quo. There's the abuse of office. I'm not saying it's impeachable or you should be impeached for it, but it's not good, right? No?
Well, it's fine, because here's why. So the flip side of that is, if you're running for public office, then somehow you should be protected from any investigation. Now, we already saw that in 2016 when Jim Comey's FBI exonerated Hillary Clinton for not just having an illicit email server, but mishandling illegally classified material. So if you have someone, now keep in mind, Hunter Biden was on the board of Burisma until earlier this year. When did he step down? When his father announced his run for presidency. So if you are sending American tax dollars to the Ukraine, they are then in turn covering up an investigation into a Ukrainian energy company that not only is under investigation in the Ukraine, but by U.S. and U.K. officials as well. We have a right to figure out what was going on there. And so I don't think it was an abuse of power at all.
See, here's, all right, we could go around in circles on this. Look, I voted for Trump. I'm going to vote for him again. I don't even care that he did this, that he abused his office. But I think he did, because it doesn't pass the smell test. I mean, Trump doesn't care about corruption anywhere in the world.
But Bruce, hold on a second. Hold on. So the aid was, first of all, the aid was released on September 11th. So in pretty short order. What also was happening at the time is you have a notoriously corrupt country, which both Democrats and Republicans and the impeachment witnesses confirmed. And these are Ukrainian experts. This is one of the most corrupt countries on earth. Sure. They had just elected a new president. Later, they elected a new parliament. They were waiting to make sure that this new president and parliament would handle U.S. tax dollars appropriately, because we have no accounting for the billions of dollars that have been sent to the Ukraine, a corrupt country, right? So we have a right to know what's happening with our tax dollars. They got the aid on September 11th, which was, I believe, like 55 days from the time the Congress authorized it to when it was actually released. So, and I don't think Parliament was installed until August. So there's a good timeline there to explain it. But the American people want their money used wisely, and I think that that's what Trump was ultimately trying to do.
Yeah, and they just elected a comedian into office. I don't think it was ever served before. But then Mark Sandy's transcripts from his deposition were released, and it says the real reason why aid was withheld, the president's concern about other countries not contributing more to Ukraine, not bribery, not quid pro quo. As wacky Schiff conspiracy, he tried to sell that to the American people.
Well, and furthermore, Amy, every impeachment witness who testified, and these are all bureaucrats who are hostile to Trump, and his, widespread belief that we're too generous with foreign aid. Aside from that, every impeachment witness was directly asked, should the Ukrainian prosecutors continue to investigate, reopen an investigation into Burisma? Every single one of them said yes. Every single one of them said that Hunter Biden's involvement with the board of Burisma, where he's earned millions of dollars, was a conflict of interest. This is not just Trump. This is pretty much a universal view.
All right, just a factual question here, because did the whistleblower come out, or not fully come out, but was the administration aware of the whistleblower before they released the funds?
Okay, so that's a really good point, Bruce. So the whistleblower, and I used it in scare quotes because we know that he's an operative tied to both the Bidens and to John Brennan. The whistleblower report was obviously Schiff handled the whistleblower. He knew about the whistleblower before he filed his report. On September 9th is when the IC Inspector General, September 9th, sent a letter, his tattletale letter, to Schiff's committee about this whistleblower and how the IC, the new acting director of national intelligence, would not move this whistleblower report forward. That was on September 9th. So you have to believe that within 48 hours, someone, a Republican from House Intel, I don't even know if they were aware of it, alerted the White House about the whistleblower report. the White House moved quickly within 48 hours to release the funds. Now, that stretches the imagination, knowing how kind of a little bit disorganized the Trump White House is and how that connection would even be made.
Right.
So we're talking about a 48-hour window between Congress officially being notified of the whistleblower report and the aid being released.
Well, you may be right about that.
So
It's
now
possible.
this moves from the Intelligence Committee to the Judiciary Committee. And the panel on Wednesday, are they going to bring any witnesses forward?
I'm not sure. So what I understand, Amy, is today Adam Schiff will finalize his report with his articles of impeachment. I think House Intel is scheduled to vote on it tomorrow, and then it will be ready for Nadler's committee on Wednesday morning. I don't know if they are going to start calling witnesses right away, but that is at least the process that I understand. And look, Nadler, of course, is going to be worse manager of this than Schiff
boy.
was.
Yeah.
Which is exactly why Nancy Pelosi tasked Schiff with this initially, rather than House Judiciary, which is typically where this process begins. So, and we've got, Republicans have some really good people on House Judiciary, and I think they're going to have a tougher road, the Democrats.
I saw Schiff on with Bill Maher. So you've kind of lost it when Bill Maher turns against you.
You mean Bill Maher?
Yeah, whatever, Maher. Yeah, and
You're inventing people over there, Bruce.
Anyway, Schiff's on there, and Schiff with this glassy-eyed look, where he doesn't, this stoic look. Maher's saying, hey, it's over. You had your chance with Russia.
That's right.
You blew that. And now people are wondering, and then he did this imitation of Mueller, the craggy-faced guy that everybody had respect for. It turns out to be a nincompoop.
Well, he didn't write that report.
But he was horrible when he testified.
I know.
And Schiff just sits there and, being the good stoic, so just takes it. But it's kind of over. The only thing that bothers me, Julie, is that you got 70% of the public that believes that Trump did something wrong here. That doesn't mean that they want him removed, and certainly in the swing states, they don't want him removed. But, yeah.
But it's a partisan issue. I mean, Democrats and Republicans in the latest poll, they're dug in on this issue. So I don't think the Democrats could change any minds with these hearings. Okay. And I think personally all it's doing is taking, it's overshadowing the 2020 candidates because they don't even play their sound bites anymore on nightly news. I mean, you have to dig deep to see where they even are in Iowa today. Don't you agree?
I do, and here is the biggest, and this is one thing, and I'm very critical of the Senate GOP, but this is one thing that they've done, which I think is very smart. They have signaled that if this gets to the Senate, they will subpoena both Bidens. They will subpoena the whistleblower. They will subpoena Adam Schiff. They will certainly subpoena members of his staff. And so they have indicated that if this moves to the Senate, of course, controlled by Republicans, this is going to be as much of a trial against their one candidate who they believe can beat Donald Trump. This will become a trial against Joe Biden. And so I think that that's why you see some Democrats who are backing off of this.
Well, it's a total sucker play because Biden is the center of the Democratic Party. And without
he's
him,
the front runner right
Well, without
now.
him, you got Tucker Carlson saying that Michelle Obama should be the nominee. And that's a pretty good point because they got nobody if they don't have Biden. Right, Julie?
They don't. And here's another thing, and this was part of Trump's phone call with Zelensky, is exposing the Ukrainians' efforts to meddle in the 2016 election to help Hillary Clinton and hurt Donald Trump. This is a legitimate issue. That also is just like, is exactly what they tried to blame Russia for, helping Trump. But there's far more evidence. There are DNC operatives who are working directly with Ukrainian officials to get information out that was damaging against Trump to help Hillary Clinton. That will be another part of that trial. That will also be hurtful.
Oh, all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Julie.
Julie Kelly from AM
Thanks,
Greatness.
guys.
A
Have
wonderful
a great
article. And you can read it for yourself if you go to amgreatness.com. And Julie joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% fine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. For Black Friday, Balance of Nature is offering 35% off and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Plus,